There are tons of myths about birds, and to be honest, many of them are completely ridiculous. Many of these myths have been told to us since childhood, and many still believe in them as adults. So on this episode of Animal Myths, we are going to talk about birds. Myth 1 is that before you feed your pet bird beans, you have to boil them for at least an hour. Different beans need to be boiled for a different amount of time. Just make sure you follow the instructions so you can get rid of the toxins. Myth 2 is that pet birds don't need to be bathed. Preening is not enough to keep your bird clean. They need to have baths. They even take baths in the wild. Myth 3 is that it is dangerous for birds to eat parsley, but that is quite the opposite. It is actually very good for them. Myth 4 is that birds can get addicted to sunflower seeds. Some birds may eat them a lot, but it's not because they are addicted to them, but because they simply like them. Myth 5 is that if you touch a baby bird, your scent will be stuck on them and the mother bird will not go back to the nest. But that is simply not the case. Myth 6 is that all birds will mate for life. While many of them do, it is not the case for some species. Myth 7 is that birds sing when they are happy. The reason a bird will sing is to establish a territory, to attract a mate, and to show aggression. Myth 8 is that swallows will burrow into the mud to survive the winter. Like many other birds, swallows will migrate to escape cold weather. Myth 9 is that if you feed hummingbirds in the fall, it will prevent them from migrating, but it doesn't affect them at all. Myth 10 is that birds are not very intelligent. Birds have been observed being great problem solvers, and they have a great memory. Myth 11 is that birds cannot smell. Many birds have an extreme sense of smell. Myth 12 is that birds can adapt easily to climate change because they can fly. Climate change actually negatively affects their food supply. Myth 13 is that there needs to be two birds to raise their young. Some species have only the mom or the dad take care of the young. Myth 14 is that owls can spin their head completely around. They can only spin their head 270 degrees. Myth 14 is that bluebird feathers have blue pigments. The feathers actually reflect blue light, but it's not from the pigments. Myth 15 is that all birds fly south for the winter. Some birds will go different directions, while others don't even migrate. Myth 16 is that rice is bad for birds. Actually, it can be good for them. Myth 17 is that birds will choke on peanut butter. There has been no recorded evidence of that claim. Myth 18 is that bread is healthy for birds. This can lead to birds becoming overweight. If you believe in any of those myths, leave them in the comment section below, and subscribe to learn more about animals.